This week's edition of AEW Rampage saw two title matches on the card, as well as Jon Moxley in action against Anthony Bowens of The Acclaim. We also had Brock Anderson and Lee Johnson in action as they took on the FTR. The AEW tag titles and the TBS title were the two titles that were defended on this Rampage. So yeah, lots going on, and let's get straight into it with Jon Moxley versus Bowens. Moxley didn't wait for the bell to ring. He sent Max Caster crashing out of the ring before hitting Bowens with a suplex. Moxley then followed up with a series of right hands to Bowens. Moxley and Bowens started to brawl through the crowd, and the latter got a couple of shots in. At ringside, he took control briefly by smashing his opponent's arm against the ring post before Moxley reversed a vertical suplex and hit a release suplex of his own, followed by kicks across the chest. Caster then caught Moxley with a boot from ringside, giving Bowens a chance to get in control. Bowens continued to work Moxley's arm during the break. He followed out with a suplex, but the former world champion kicked out. Bowens then headed to the middle rope, but the move backfired. Moxley almost hit him with a paradigm shift and then dumped him over the top rope and into Max Caster. He then wiped out Caster for a top rope suicida. He hit Moxley with his passenger draping DDT, getting an earful. Bowens then hit Moxley with a super kick, but the latter immediately replied. He followed out with more elbow strikes before Bowen, who then took out the chain from Max Caster, but Moxley saw it coming and hit him with a cutter. Moxley then turned back to Bowens and took him down with a lariat. He followed out with a paradigm shift to pick up the victory. After the match, we saw Danielson watching Moxley in the back. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10, just building up that Bryan Danielson Moxley storyline even more, and yeah, just on the match itself, really fun match, definitely exceeded my expectations. Andrade Alilo and his assistant Jose were in Darby's locker room. Andrade was happy to finally meet the kid and offered him a contract. Alan was not impressed and said that he did not work for Sting. He then chased Andrade away after taking out a baseball bat. I think that's pretty firm though. Hopefully that builds into feud, that'd be great. Before we got Brock Anderson and Lee Johnson versus the FTR. Wheeler and Johnson kicked things off. Johnson took Wheeler down with a Hurricane Rana, forcing him to tag out. Anderson and Dax tagged in. They went back and forth before Anderson took Harwood down and Wheeler came in and he was also taken down. But FTR managed to control the match during the commercial break, getting in control. Brock Anderson came in, hitting big offense to both Wheeler and Harwood. Anderson then went for a gut wrench suplex to Wheeler for a 2 count. Johnson tagged in and hit Wheeler with a boot to the jaw. Lee Johnson then hit a frog splash from the top rope, but Wheeler got his foot up. We saw Alan Anderson and Tully Blanchard square up. Back in the ring, Dax Harwood came in off the blind tag, off the distraction, and FTR hit Lee Johnson with an assisted pile driver to pick up the win. I'll give it a 6 out of 10. Kind of the result we all wanted. Protected Lee Johnson and Brock a bit more. So I'll give it a 6 out of 10. Next up, we got Jade Cargill versus Julia Hart for the TBS title. Cargill took her opponent down early with a shoulder tackle and followed up with a spinning backbreaker and followed up with push-ups in the middle of the ring, and Julia Hart took advantage of the roll-up. Hart got a couple of thrust kicks and a handspring elbow, but it didn't have too much of an effect on Cargill. The latter went for a powerbomb, but Hart managed to roll it up. Cargill did not look amused and took Hart down with a passing pump kick. No, this was all over when Cargill followed up with a Jaded to pick up the relatively quick win. I'll give it a 6 out of 10. Probably the weakest match on the card so far, but I think it's more just designed to put Cargill over, and it did just that, to be fair. I'll give it a 6 out of 10. Perfectly solid match. Before we got Jurassic Express versus Private Party for the tag titles. Private Party started the match really strong, hitting Jungle Boy with a gin and juice for an earful. They were in total control, but headed to the top rope was a mistake. Jungle Boy rolled away. He tugged in Luchasaurus, who followed Private Party out to ringside. He then sent Isaiah Cassidy crashing into the mat and turned his attention to Mark Quinn. Matt Hardy took advantage and caught Luchasaurus at ringside. Luchasaurus went to make the tag, but both Quinn and Cassidy grabbed hold of his feet. He wiped them out with a double clothesline before making the tag. Jungle Boy came in off the hot tag and sent both Quinn and Cassidy crashing out of the ring. He followed out with a series of dives, taking out Private Party single-handedly. Back in the ring, Cassidy took Jungle Boy down with an Enziguri and headed to the top rope. The latter met him on the top, but Quinn and Luchasaurus weren't far behind. With Jungle Boy on Luchasaurus' shoulders, Mark Quinn went for a crossbody, but it was reversed in midair. Private Party hit a tornado DDT to Luchasaurus. Jungle Boy then came in and locked in a snare trap, but it was broken up. Jurassic Express then followed up with their finisher and pinned Isaiah Cassidy. Gun Club hit the ring after the match as Billy Gunn took out Christian Cage again. Colton and Austin then took out Luchasaurus with a double belt, laying both members of Jurassic Express out. They're actually building a decent storyline for this, which I wasn't expecting to happen, but I've got to give it a 7 out of 10. This was good. Overall this week, Rampage gets a 7 out of 10 from me. Yeah, really enjoyable Rampage this week. Great match at the beginning and the end of the show. Middle of the show was decent as well. Probably not as good as the beginning and the end, but yes, still a solid show. Decent matches across the board. And yeah, it's what you come to expect from Rampage. This was a solid show. But anyway guys, that's it for the video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, put your thoughts, comments down below. Follow on Twitter, link in the description for daily wrestling news, and subscribe to our channel, that'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace.